Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to one of our live panel discussions from the JeopardyFan.com. This is number 20. Once again, I'm Andy Saunders. I will be moderating this discussion tonight. Got a nice panel of returning and new panelists. First up, I'd like to introduce the founder of the JeopardyFan.com, Jeannie Kenkel. Welcome back. Also, some returning panelists. Welcome back to Josh Frumpkin, who is also trying to watch the Dallas Cowboys choke. Also, the most recent teen tournament champion, Jeff Shia. And also we have defending champion from Friday, Elliot Yates. And finally, returning to our panel, David Greisman. I don't know where his video went. I clicked on his video. He's got a picture there, but he's not there. Oh well, he will be back very shortly, I am sure. Okay, so yes, we finally have a five-time champion. It's been 6 months. Yeah, 7 months really now. Julia Collins was the most recent five-timer before Vaughn, who was part of our panel last week and unfortunately was not able to join us this week. But yes, he is finally five-time. We finally have a five-time champion. Finally have somebody who's a good shot for the Tournament of Champions. What do we think Vaughn's chances are in the tournament? Obviously, we don't really know who he's up against, but do we think he's got a good good shot based on what we've seen?
I think he's strong as anybody. I mean, I think he's got a good chance. I'm happy for him,
Well, Elliot, you played against him. What did you think of him as opposition?
Vaughn was a really good player. He was a really nice guy, and he, I saw him. Was on the last episode the day before. He won that. So when we got there, he was a one-time champion, and I played on the last episode of that day. So I saw him beat all of the new people, just mow them all down. And he went from a one-time champion to a five-time champion in like 2 hours right before me. And so he's a great player. I mean, he's a really great player. He has a really quick finger and a wide grasp. So I think that he could do really well in the Tournament of Champions. He'll come back and he'll have thought about ways to be even better. He was really good. I got lucky beating him. I just got lucky with a Barbra Streisand question, to be honest. But I'll take it.
Yeah, so yes, I would definitely agree that he is a very strong player, and of course he will now have the advantage of being able to watch everyone else's games as they come through and take notes. So that could be interesting coming to see and what he does in, I don't know, I'm going to say 18 months. We'll see how long it is till the next tournament, but let's see. I know one thing was there was a lot of discussion on Jboard, and I always hesitate to bring something like this up, but Elliot, regarding you were just on Millionaire recently, so it feels as though you might have something to say about the decision regarding your eligibility. I mean, obviously the producers knew about your Millionaire appearance, so.
Well, it had been, there's a time period, and it had been longer than the time period. So,
How did you do on Millionaire?
I did well. I got through they have a first round of like 10 questions. That's different amounts, and I got through the 10th question. I saw the $100,000, and I didn't know it, and so I walked away with $58,500.
Wow.
I was pleased.
Congratulations.
So, Thank you. And I mean, but I've always been wanting to get on Jeopardy. It's taken the longest.
When did your episode air of Millionaire?
Oh, it aired last year. It aired back in September of the year before, I think, and then it reran. But it's on YouTube. I think it reran in March.
That's a must-watch. I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I also heard you were on Wheel of Fortune at some point too, right? Is that correct, Elliot? So that means you got the trifecta down, haven't you?
Trifecta.
Yeah, I did Wheel of Fortune 4 years ago. That was the first one. And that was really, really fun as well. And I luckily solved that bonus puzzle. So I have the trifecta, and I have to wait like 6 years before I can ever do another one. But whatever, that's fine.
Huh.
It's not like there are any other good game shows out there anyway, so.
Well, I was going to ask you, are there any other ones you're thinking of?
No, I mean, not really. Not really. I would be terrible to practice right, so I don't think I have time for that. I did the ones I wanted to, and I had a great time, so I'm thankful for that.
I feel like there can't be like tons of Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy crossover. Like I'm always surprised to like hear that. Seems like different people that are on the two shows.
It does. It does too. I can confirm.
Megan Rafferty Barnes has been on all three.
Preston Nicholson.
Yes, that's right. Preston Nicholson has done all three. I'm trying to think. I don't think Chad Mosher's done Millionaire yet, but he's the Kids Week alumni. I know he's going on Wheel of Fortune in a couple of months. So.
Oh, nice.
Good for him, and. Yes, I'm looking forward to. I will tune in to see that Wheel of Fortune. I don't usually watch the other show. I usually stick to Jeopardy, but.
I saw a woman today that I hadn't seen in a long time, and she didn't know I was on Jeopardy. So she was asking me all kinds of questions, and then it wasn't really making sense to me. And then I didn't know she was talking about Wheel of Fortune until she said Pat. Like she was like, "Did you get to the final round?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I went to Final Jeopardy." And she was like, "Oh, you don't get to come back the next day if you win." And I didn't figure it out till she said Pat. And I'm like, "No, Jeopardy, not Wheel of Fortune."
So, Elliot, you said that it had taken the longest for you to get on Jeopardy. How many times had you auditioned?
I had only been to one previous callback. And it was actually like right after I was on Wheel of Fortune that I passed the test for the first time, I guess. And I went to that callback, and it went well. It was good to see how it shook down. And then I guess it was 2 more years before I passed it again, and got invited to a callback, and that one worked out.
And so when did you get the call to be on the show? How many weeks did you have?
So we taped in November, and so they called near the end of October. Yeah. They called right on the day when I was working on 3 operas at one time.
Oh, jeez. I'm always curious when I talk to contestants in terms of whether you're always prepping in terms of trivia or whether you didn't really start packing more knowledge into your head until after you got the call.
Yeah, that's a valid question. For me, I was working a lot, and so when I got the call, it was even hard to start studying a lot then, but I did start listening to a lot of podcasts because since I live in Manhattan, I'm on the train all the time, and that was a really good way to study, to just brush up on whatever area that I wanted to. So that was the main way I studied, but I didn't really start until I got that phone call.
So one question I'm curious about, did you have was there any break between Friday's taping, or the taping of Friday's episode, and the taping of the one coming up on Monday?
Yes, there was a break. We had taped on that Wednesday, and then I went back right after that, and they flew me back out Tuesday of the next week. So I did get to go back to New York and like go out with my friends, and in my head I'm just like, okay, reigning Jeopardy champion, everyone. I'm not like shouting it, but in my head I'm shouting it. And so it was really fun. That was a really fun weekend to definitely crack down on studying a little more, but to just have fun as the Jeopardy champion. And then I went back the next week.
I had the same thing. It was an awesome feeling. And my wife was just like, "You're impossible to live with because you're so full of yourself." But it was, I earned it.
That's funny.
So you said that you watched Vaughn, mow through the opposition up until your show. So from your position, you didn't know when you were going to be going on until you got the call. Were you getting intimidated? Were you getting more confident, thinking that maybe he was getting tired? Were you getting tired yourself after watching a long day of tapings?
I definitely wasn't getting tired. You just got too much adrenaline and you're just too excited to get tired throughout the day. And I didn't know. Well, I wasn't thinking about what his condition might be in. But even though he was a really good player, I did getting to see him play those 4 episodes. Say to a girl next to me, I was like, you know what? He's really good, but he's beatable. Because I don't think that I necessarily took any strategies into play, but I did notice that it would be possible to win. I didn't think it would be the way that I did, but I saw that he was really good, but that I had a chance.
Well, he would have lost Monday if it weren't for that. Somebody missed the woman who was in the lead. Missed
Yes, that was
the
the
Harry
first.
Beecher Stowe. Yeah. So
That was the first episode we taped, and we all, I feel like most of us in the audience knew it, and we were like, oh wow, she's gonna win, and then she overthought that one, and then he picked up steam.
I would say that, I mean, that's really all the big champions usually, they get one break early on and then they just pick up steam and nobody's able to catch them. And
Yeah.
now, do you kind of, a couple questions specifically about Friday's episode. First up, do you wish you'd bet more on the crossword clues Daily Double?
Yeah, but the thing is, what I've realized now, looking at these, like that final wager, I had never heard of that website either, but looking at that and all these people that bet for like the most that you can, I just realized through my play that I was kind of if you're gonna get it wrong, like how much can you bet that you won't be too upset about it, and so that's what I did, and I knew, and you can't change it. Yeah, I wish I would have bet it all. I mowed that category down. I was glad about it. I wanted to sweep a category while I was on Jeopardy, and I was glad that it happened in my first episode.
Yeah.
I wish I had bet more on the final question too, but whatever. It's okay.
Did you know that cold, like Friday's final about Barbara Streisand? Did you know that one cold, or were you able to just figure it out?
So this is my coffee table book right now. It's Streisand in the Camera Time. It's actually my roommate's book. One of her friends sent it to her, but it's been on there for the longest time, and that question popped up, and I didn't even have to read the words. It was like Fanny Bryce, surgery, blah. I was like, no job, no job. And the only thing that I thought was, should I put rhinoplasty? But then I was like, no, that'll make me look like a tool. I'm just gonna put no job. But I also, to me, it was just so present. But I was like, well, Vaughn's really great. He'll definitely get that. So that's why my face was just kind of like, well, I got it, and second. That's cool. I'll take second, I guess. So I was really shocked.
Wow.
But yeah, it came right to me.
That's good. Yeah.
He actually lives next to Kipper. He lives next to Kipper, our mannequin room. Yeah. So.
Looking back on Tuesday's episode, I know Marsha probably could have had the last Daily Double if she'd thought a little bit more about where it might have been. Did you guys, I know I'm the only one who hasn't been on the show, but did you guys think about positioning of Daily Doubles at all when you guys were on?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You did?
Oh yeah, I definitely did. Depending on all the time. Sometimes if I was leading in an episode, you think about getting it out of the way, or just increasing that lead, or if that's what you need to do to catch it. You definitely look around and see where you might think it will be, and then it makes you want to jump around a little bit. And I don't think nothing too crazy, but yeah, you think about it. I did.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
Well, I didn't really. I mean, I wasn't really paying much attention. I know I probably should have paid attention a little more, but I was just like going through and I was just thinking to my mind, hopefully the other guy doesn't get it, but I wasn't really thinking strategically anyway. I was still paying attention to the score, making sure, but I wasn't really hunting per se.
Okay.
I never hunted. I mean, I don't know if it was like an OCD thing or whatever. I mean, I think part of it probably is like to do that kind of real hunt, like Arthur kind of hunting, whatever. Like, I feel like you really need to have crazy confidence that you can answer everything, and I don't know that I had that kind. Maybe I could, I don't know, but like I don't know that I had that confidence that I could just reach into any category, especially since they tend to be in some of the tougher ones. You know, and I mean, I ended up getting a couple, but just by chance.
Yeah, I was too locked in the moment. I wanted to keep my momentum going. It's so funny though when I looked back and rewatched the first episode of mine. The two times that I think the other players got the daily doubles, they were questions. They'd gotten the questions before, and I psyched myself out and didn't ring in. They might have still beaten me on the buzzer anyway. My second game, I mean, I just kind of stumbled upon them. I think maybe if I'd gotten more comfortable over the course, if I'd played a few more games, I might have gone hunting, or if I'd been less nervous. But I think it was just about keeping the momentum from, oh man, I got a correct answer. Let me keep on going.
Sorry, stuff going on.
I think Marcia might have just been more comfortable in the first category that she'd found, or at least the categories that she'd found. The first daily double in that round, I think it was she was more comfortable in 11-letter words than Ladies Who Launch, and decided that she'd rather play a $2,000 clue in 11-letter words, and it ended up meaning that she handed the daily double over to Vaughn at that point. So
yeah.
So I mean, obviously, she felt that it seemed to me like that she didn't have. I guess she just didn't have the confidence in the astronauts category. So.
Oh, that's fair.
So have you kept in touch most at all with any of the other people from your week, Elliot?
Vaughn is very nice. By the way, I'm sure y'all saw, I guess he was on the last chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sent me a message like the next day. He like on Facebook. He found me on Facebook, and just a really nice message. And we communicated a little then, right after it happened, and then now that his and my episodes are airing, we're like talking again. Yeah. So I've kept in touch with him, and now that it's aired, I guess I've found a few other people, and I've talked to them a few times since then. Yeah. There were a lot of nice people. The episodes that'll air next week, those were all nice people. Yeah.
Does the panel have any theories as to it seems like the show's website has had issues being updated over the past couple of weeks. I know the hometown howdies haven't been up. It's been difficult for. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they did put mine up yet. I haven't seen it yet. I noticed that.
I mean,
strange enough, actually.
You can reenact it for us right now, Elliot.
I think it was Elliot Yates, an opera director from New York City, watched me hit the high notes. Something stupid, but
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, they liked it. Vaughn said it was really good. Vaughn was very nice.
Yeah, strangely enough, I actually noticed on Jeopardy, you know where they just had to meet the contestant, and apparently it showed the stuff from like the first day Vaughn won, which is weird. I don't know how that's possible, but
Huh.
Yeah, they've been having some tech issues. I don't know though. I've noticed it, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Sony's
they haven't updated.
Not that Sony hasn't had some internet issues in the recent month or two. Although I don't know, you know, who knows if that has anything to do with it.
Did you get your picture with Alex?
I did. Yeah, I did, and it's really bad. My eyes are a little too closed, and I'm making a funny face, and I put it up on Facebook, and with the caption, "Look how bad this picture is." Everybody's still like, "Oh no," you know, like my grandmother and like women from my hometown in Mississippi are like, no, you're so handsome. No, it's great. But it's funny, yeah, I got that. I'm getting a lot better pictures just taking pictures of the TV when the episode aired than that picture, to be honest.
Did you have a party yesterday for your episode?
Yeah, we went out. Yeah, Friday. I went out with a few friends. We went to this pub that has like a loft in it, and we were in the loft. And then, and that was really fun. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go home to bed, but we didn't. We like went out that night. We went to another restaurant. We went to like 2 bars, and so we had a good night of just being on the town. It was really fun.
Great.
Did you have to pick up the check?
We went to places where like we had friends working or whatnot, and so we didn't really have many checks that we had to pay. But I did
Nice.
get the cash, I think. I think I got the cash.
Nice.
Do we have any other nice fashion statements coming up in the next week?
Yeah, we do. We do. I was pleased with the ensembles that I was able to put together. So that's what I'm most looking forward to, are compliments.
Great! I can't wait to see tomorrow's episode.
I hope so.
Cool.
Nice.
While I check through my own notes to see, or at least to see if anyone has left any comments or questions for the panel. I know sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Do any panelists have any questions for anyone else on the panel that they didn't really get a chance to ask?
I'll just say, I thought Thursday, which is the one with Paige and Alana at the J-Arc, I thought it was a great game. Like, all 3 of them were just killing it. And Paige seemed like she was freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, she was really on top of it. And it was all like Vaughn just kind of, got it done at the last second. Seemed like just kind of buzzer speed, whatever. But it was a great game.
Buzzer speed in the Daily Double.
The Daily Double, right? Yeah.
During rehearsal that day, Paige and Elan were the 2 that everybody was just like, those 2. Like, those are the 2. And it was weird that they weren't until that last episode before me. And that was such a good episode. Any of them would have been a good champion.
Yeah.
Paige and I went to the bar that night, at the hotel bar. I said, come on, girl, I'm going to buy you a drink. And we split a bottle of wine or 3. Yeah, she was really good.
I'm just curious. The gentleman who was between you and Vaughn on Friday, did he feel like he'd been steamrolled by 2 really good contestants? Did you get a chance to talk to him?
I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. Mike, he was a nice guy the whole time. He was congratulatory, but yeah, I didn't really get to talk to him.
So I have a question for you, Elliot. I didn't know you were from Mississippi till a couple minutes ago when you mentioned it. I mean, I could tell you're from the South, but how long did you live there? Like, how'd you wind up moving to New York?
I was born in Mississippi, and I went to school, high school and college there, and I moved just like 3 years ago now.
Oh.
So I am from Mississippi, like legitimately. But I moved to New York 3 years ago because I was working a lot in opera and getting jobs regionally, but I moved here because it's a much better city for it, and I've been able to work in New York in opera, which is great.
Great.
I actually auditioned for Millionaire the day I moved to New York. It was the last day they were having auditions for like several months, and it was the first day that we could go because I was finishing up doing a La Boheme in Memphis. And we drove the truck up. Kipper sat in the front, like that story I told. But the first place we went, like we parked the truck at Newark Airport and took our suitcases to ABC Studios because it was our last opportunity, and it worked out. It was crazy. So I was like, yes, New York is a good place for me. New York is good, I promise. Yeah.
Well, I have a question about your Millionaire audition. Do you have any tips for the rest of us that can't seem to get by the audition part of the process? I mean, what do you know what they're looking for, that kind of thing?
I guess you're assuming like for people who passed the test.
Yes.
I can't say myself the test. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. You know, I'm a little crazy, but I had just moved to New York that day, so I had this energy about me, and I was just pulling people into conversations. Like I was in one interview with one person, and I like got the attention of another one, and I was telling the stories to both of them, and everybody was just like, okay, if we're gonna put him on the show. And I think it was just that a good day. It was a good day, and it also happened to be Meredith Vieira's last day. It was their last day of taping for her, I guess, the season. Oh, nice. So they were like, when we're done, we're gonna go to the party. Meredith Vieira is already drunk, probably, and so all of that was in the air, and it just worked in my favor. But yeah, just go. You know, have some good stories.
Yeah.
Prepare like some good ideas of what you would do with the money, and just try to like be as talkative and outgoing as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the trick. That's the trick. I'm gonna remember that next time. I will try out again someday.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, I think that was true for Jeopardy. It seemed like, at least for me, you know, they're putting people on TV. Like, they want people that people are going to root for. They want, you know, outgoing, smile, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So, any big plans for the winnings at this point, Elliot?
Yes. I'm going to Europe. Well, in the spring for 2 months. I haven't really done much with my millionaire winnings. I was planning by the time I got that check. Well, I'm going to Eurovision. I don't know if y'all know the Eurovision Song Contest in Europe. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And I'm doing a big trip to go there, but to go to a few places before. And I had missed it last year, so I still have some of that. But now that Jeopardy has gone well, and I'm gonna go to Scandinavia before I go to Vienna, and just have a good time.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I guess if you're a Eurovision fan, you're probably familiar with another Jeopardy alumnus, Sam Ross from Minnesota. She does a lot of writing about Eurovision.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't know her, but you can guarantee that I will find her.
Probably, but yes, she was on in 2007. Defeated when I think she was still at McAllister College when she ended up winning one game, I think. She beat Doug Hickton. He ended up second place in the Tournament of Champions that year.
Wow.
So.
Wow. That's crazy. Thank you so much for telling me that. Look at you. That's a great memory. Yeah, okay. I'll definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, she. I will. She will probably, or you will probably end up seeing her at some point, especially if you wear the Jeopardy hat or something. That might.
Gladly. That's my new favorite hat.
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we log off, once again, I should ask a last call if any panelist has any questions for any of us, or anyone else on the panel has any questions. Sounds
I'm just
empty.
curious. Again, it's always about the preparation, but were there certain categories that came up that you were happy that came up, Elliot, or ones that came up that you were absolutely dreading when you saw them on the board?
You'll see next week, but there were some categories that, like, even one of them, Alex was like, I bet you liked that category, and I was like, I sure did, Alex. So next week there's at least 2 or 3 that I just lit up, and I was like, yes, that's it. But let me tell you, the whole time I was there, the first week, well, for the first episode, and then the next time that I went, everyone was dreading an opera category because they were like, opera, opera is not too rare on Jeopardy, and they would just look at me when they thought about it. I was like, yes, if opera comes up, I will get every single one, and if they're the double, I will get all of them. I know every opera. But I didn't get that, unfortunately, but I got some good.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeannie.
Oh no, nothing. Sorry.
Okay, I have no questions in terms of my own notes or emails because I guess yep, no, none of the listeners decided to leave a comment. So I'm quite glad you were able to join us tonight, Elliot.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get you back.
Yes.
I don't know how
Yeah.
your availability is next week, but
Yeah, well, we'll see. I will probably be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I might definitely be available.
okay, yeah,
This was fun.
we'd like to have you back, and
Yeah, definitely would.
Yeah, it was fun.
so yes, once again, on behalf of all of the panel, thank you, David, Elliot, Jeannie, Jeff, and Josh. So once again, I am Andy Saunders for the JeopardyFan.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Enjoy the next week's worth of episodes, and have a great night.